This is one package, one price, one niche. How smart, experienced PTs are creating their online programs, and this is set up only. If you've been in the personal training trenches for at least 5 years and have clients who regularly tell you that you've changed their life, the likelihood is you've got about 85% of the knowledge that you need to be able to take your experience, your results, package that up and deliver it online. You probably look around at the other trainers, other coaches, you see these younger guys often working with dozens of online clients, and potentially you feel a little bit left behind because deep down, you know, your experience is way deeper than those newbie 20-year-old personal trainers. If you are watching this, you're likely over 35. Time is of the essence. One-to-one clients, family, massive responsibilities are the biggest barrier to even finding the headspace to sit down and carve out the weeks needed to get something launched. The good news in this video, I'm going to give you the system that smart, experienced PTs are currently using to create their own online programs, the setup, the tech, the pricing, the package, the niche. Plus, within about 90 seconds of this point, I'm going to reveal the single most important and perhaps maybe even counterintuitive concept that you need to know around how to package up your online program. Who am I? Very quickly, my name is Tim Drummond, and I started in the trenches one-to-one way back. Fitness first in Shepherd's Bush in 2008. Along the way, I published 2 books as a published author. One was actually a bestseller. I've been featured in the Sunday Times, HuffPost, Hello Magazine, and at one point was one of the UK's highest paid personal trainers. Over the time, I've also helped over 450 educated coaches add an online program into their current business. And I've personally built 4, 6 and 7 figure brands and businesses. So what am I going to cover? Look, we had it in the title. One package, one price, one niche. We're going to dive straight in. We have to understand one package. Let me tell you a story to narrate this. When I had my first 10K month, about a decade ago now, that was the beautiful water bungalow that I booked for me and my then ex-partner. I mean, if you've ever seen it on the telly, it's actually everything you could imagine. The golden sands, the food is unreal. The service was unbelievable in like a 6-star water bungalow. Crazily enough, that was our private bungalow. There's a swimming pool there. I don't know why you've got a swimming pool when you've got the ocean right there. Now, compare that to 15 hours in a tin can with a crying toddler. The flight, the journey there was horrendous. Sat down, hot, sweaty, delayed, noisy cabin, knowing that we were going to be in that plane for the best part of a whole day, and a toddler behind us starts crying and seemed to not stop for the whole journey. It was not fun. And that's what we have to understand straight away in this training, right? When you are online, you sell the result, not the journey. So we're talking about like packages here. To understand how to create them, we need to understand the concept of selling the result, not the journey. Clients don't care about your features when you're online. They just need to know that you can solve their biggest problems. So what that means is that you give them everything that they need within reason, by the way, to get the result. And this is your flagship product, your one and only product. And I am going to come back later in this workshop. I'm going to really break each of these specifically down. So, one price, and I've called it the COVID shift. We have to understand that when I first started entering online, the majority of the industry thought that online was a $49 downsell to personal training. What they tended to do was send like workout programs built on Excel, sent on email. And most people thought it was a worse product, a downsell. Now, I had been telling coaches about the way that I was creating it and doing it and teaching it, which was much more about it's a holistic approach with the whole system business set up for results, and one that focused on habits, behaviors, and mindset change. Now, people, a small subsection were listening. It was still a major opinion that online was just a cheaper option than personal training. In fact, people used to market it like that all the time on Facebook. Then COVID happened and 100% of coaches went online, right? And what occurred to the majority of them is that they realized that actually doing online fitness does cover a lot more of the bases and the results are there. The opinions across the board were massively changed by COVID. Now, overall, I would say the view of online went from that cheap to valuable, with a caveat when it was done correctly. So the smart cookie saw what I had known for years at that point, that when you package up, you create more premium priced programs. Right. One niche. When I was in person, I never needed to niche. And look, your experience might be exactly the same. Now, I wouldn't say I took everyone on, but my gym where I was, it was in the city, the financial district. So there was a slight age a range in there because most people would be working around there, but there was men and women. They were wanting different things, prehab, weight loss, muscle building, all of these different options, right? And so I wouldn't say I took anyone with a wallet and a pulse, but you know what? As long as they weren't idiots, and I was like, I can't believe that I would even want to work with these, I sold to whoever came to me in the gym. Online, it's very different. You need to have a niche. You need to have a niche. Some evidence. Firms with niche had client growth rates 25% higher than broad service firms. That's across the board, by the way. I would say online, it's a much, much bigger effect than even that. So the single biggest killer of online programs is getting lost in the crowd, the saturation, and struggling to even be heard in the marketplace. If you've had a dabble in the past and you didn't get anything, no comments, no likes, no messages, no calls booked, no applications, this is probably one of the major reasons why. So here's the how-tos. I'm going to go over how we structure each of these steps. I'm going to show you the package, the price, the niche, going to break it down for you, exactly what we do in the Behavior Change Coach Mentorship, so you can get the proven roadmap to setting up your own online option. So we'll start with one package. We already got the idea. Sell the result, not the journey. Sell the beautiful golden sands and the turquoise blue sea and the 6-star food, not the tin can with the crying baby. So what's the structure in this one package? Well, look, we understand that we are going to put everything in that their client needs to get the results. That is built on the idea that we are selling a result. 12 weeks, which is just the right time frame to deliver a life-changing result for your clients. I've put e.g. 12 to 20 pounds in 12 weeks, but it might be some more sort of holistic health or stress or even muscle building. So you structure your one package around the 3 pillars of change, what I call the 3 pillars of change. And again, this is always built on, and I will keep coming back to it, we sell the result, not the journey. If we're going to sell the results, we need to put everything in this package. We don't want to hold back, right? We don't want to hold back. Training, nutrition, and then habits and behavior change. That's the 3 pillars of change that you want to include into this single one package. My clients that come into a behavior change mentorship, we give them the 12-week behavior change blueprint and we insert it straight into their business. So I'm going to give you a bit of an insight into that. Right, so the 12-week behavior change blueprint system, the setup is done using PT Distinction. So that answers the question of which software. So you don't have to think about and research this for months on end. We use PT Distinction. The only 2 bits of software, that's one. The other one is Zoom. They are the only 2 bits of software you need to set this thing up. Our clients record about 8 or 9 videos and then they upload them into the PT Distinction app. Those videos are about sort of 2 to 3 minutes long. We tell them what to say, why they're saying it. And when I say the app in week one, what I mean is in our week one of our program, we get our clients to start recording the video. And that is the creation of the deliverable weekly content. Now, this is a key part of this package, that you have Zoom calls. You have a Zoom onboarding call in week one. Now, this call is there to be able to diagnose the bespoke plan based on the client's goals. The example I've always used over the years is you wouldn't create a program before you met a personal training client. They would come in, they would do their consultation, and then from that, you would make it bespoke. So that first onboarding call is to understand the client, their goals, what they do like, what they don't like. Then in subsequent weeks, you have Zoom check-ins for about 30 to 40 minutes through the 12 weeks, where you guide the clients to progressions in that plan, in those steps, progressions, regressions. How can you help the client implement what you set up for them? Because online these days is fundamentally about implementation, not just the information. So it's fundamentally about implementation. And you do that on these weekly Zoom check-in calls. Now, why a behavior change system set up? I found that many of the better and certainly best in-person coaches are the ones who already actually understand the importance of mindset and habits, right? And that's with their current clients. And so this understanding becomes even more important when you go online. This is Chris. What a monster of a program you've created. This is just talking about the 12-week behavior change blueprint. Really enjoying each of the calls, as he says there. All right, next one. One price. Common mistakes. Often new online coaches or people wanting to move online, they try to create 3 tiers. So they go cheap, middle, more expensive. Or worse still, I actually had a conversation with someone the other day. Not only did this person say that they were, their words, a jack of all trades. So they were going to consider giving them just training, just nutrition, or both. And then they started telling me about the fact that they're going to offer single session, 5 blocks, 10 blocks, a 6-week option and a 12-week option. To be honest, my head was hurting, right? I think, and it was slightly confirmed by the person, that she just wasn't confident in her ability to have people say yes to working with her online. And so what she was doing, and what a lot of novice online coaches who are starting out do, is they're just worried that they're not going to have people say yes. So they create these cheaper options that people can come and work with them on. Now, this is important, and it sort of follows on from that. And this is a mindset shift around price, right? So our behavior change system gets better results than just PT sessions. And I wouldn't have believed that before I started it. And I think most of the industry, I've already said it, I think most of the industry didn't believe that before COVID either, right? And listen, here's the thing. Even if you can't quite get there yet, even if you can't quite get that a online system could get better results than just PT sessions, here's all you need to be able to do is create a system that at the very least doesn't compromise on results that you would get from 1 to 2 sessions a week. Now, when we do that, I'm going to show you the way to work this out. The price point we employ, which does allow for some flexibility based on kind of your past history, where you are, the type of clients you want to work with. So bear those in mind though, because I will introduce our launch pricing system. Our launch pricing system. So here's how you decide one price for this one product. Take what you charge for 1 session a week over 12 weeks, and then take what you charge for 2 sessions a week over 12 weeks. And those numbers become the floor and ceiling on launch. So they become the floor and ceiling on launch. E.g., you charge $65 a session. That's about £50, right? And 1 session a week, $65 times 12 weeks is $780. 2 sessions a week, 65 times 2 then times 12, 65 times 2 is 130, then times 12 is 1,560. So you have what you charge for one session, what you have charged for 2 sessions. That might be that 65 or 50 pounds is higher, lower, but with this indicative example, you charge between 780 and 1,560. And again, this is based on the understanding that at the very least, a correctly produced online program that covers training, nutrition, and behavior change and habits will not compromise on the result, which is what we are selling, not the journey. This is an example. Not going too crazy here. Jamie, also, ... First sign up today at $1,000. Yippee. Now that's also paid in full, which is very good. All right, we're doing good. We're doing good. Last important part of this video, one niche. There is a scarcity epidemic in the fitness industry. Right? There is a scarcity epidemic in the fitness industry. And it's created because when you're in person, you can only really service the people that are sort of around you. It depends on where you are and how long people will travel, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot. Maybe some places might travel sort of 45 minutes, maybe. If you're in central London or New York or Toronto, most times people won't travel more than 20 minutes to get somewhere. Now, the good thing is you can move away from that scarcity epidemic when you go online, because online opens literally the world to you. Everyone can access your help as long as they have a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection. Everyone can. There will always be enough people in your chosen niche. There will always be enough people in your chosen niche that can access your help. Niche allows also for easier targeted lead generation. So niche also allows for easier targeted lead generation. Stay on, because I'm going to cover exactly what that means, because it's an important part of what we're doing here. So my hope is that I've helped you see the scarcity is real-ish in person. Online, it should disappear from your mind. Also, the importance of understanding and having a niche. After we've got that mindset shift, we can look at the system we use. We use our niche and avatar matrix. So we use our niche and avatar matrix. And this is, we get our clients to choose one of 6 niches. Busy dads, busy mums, male entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, male executives, female executives. Now, there might be loads of questions at this point, like, do I have to decide men or women? Can I not just work with like busy parents? Or is there a difference between like, is there a difference specifically between like entrepreneurs and executives? Could I be more niche? All of this stuff. And obviously these are conversations I have with our clients, but this gives us a very good base. It is much more effective when you market to a different sex. So you market to men or you market to women. There are times when we do have a conversation and we decide, look, both would be good. So I'm not going to fight anyone on it, but it is easier when you market to men or women. And look, the personality traits of these groups of people are slightly different. When they start, they get to choose them. And that's only really like the first level. From there, our guys create an avatar of their ideal client. You create an avatar of your ideal client. We do that in the niche and avatar matrix worksheet. And basically, an avatar is a description of a faux pretend person that would be the exact person that you want to market towards. They don't really exist. Although, one of the things that you can do is, if there is someone that you know that is like, oh, this would be the exact type of client I want to work with, or even like an amalgamation of a couple of people, and then you write down everything about that person, psychographics, demographics. Let me go back to the mindset of this, because I've been talking about niche and avatar for 10 years. In fact, sometimes I talk to someone and I talk to them 3 years later and they're still figuring out their niche and avatar. You have to have courage to do this. You have to have the courage to do this. And I've seen people either just jump around and not have this, or think that they don't need to have a niche and just market to anyone, whoever, because they did it in person, right? It is a much, much, much harder to succeed without having a strong, defined niche online that you understand. This is Christian. See the strength of just taking what he was doing and creating a niche. A niche research calls booked, niche sales calls booked, current sales call booked, niche sales, weekly marketing tracker created. So you will just get a lot more traction. So in this video, one package, one price, one niche. How smart, experienced PTs are creating their online program. We said that this is the setup. So I went over one package, one price, one niche, and gave you all of the lowdown that you needed on each of those. Now, what next? Well, if you're watching this on YouTube, there will be a place that you can book a free call with me, and that is timdrummond.com/discovery. And we can have a conversation about where your business is, where you would like to take it with the move online. So we'll look at where your business is now, where you want to take it, and really what has been holding you back or what will be holding you back. To be clear, there is nothing for sale on this 15-minute call. It is free, not heavy pitch, anything like that. Now, full transparency, this could be, and I do see these calls as a potential first step in a longer relationship. But totally cool if someone gets on this call and they just get value and they point them in the right direction. If I can't help you, no ickiness, no dodgy business. So again, it's just timdrummond.com/discovery. Do go and book one right now. And we can have a conversation about whether we may or may not be able to help you with adding a second income stream from your new online programs. Guys, thank you for being on the training. And my hope is that was very useful for you. Guys, speak soon.